What is up everyone, Boshi here back at it in Raid Shadow Legends, and let's take a look at the 10x Hydra event coming up tomorrow. Alright guys, so you all probably think I'm joking about the 10x Hydra thing, but I'm really not. If you haven't seen a list of all the champions involved in this 10x event, I'll go ahead and throw them up on the screen right now, but all you really need to know is that they have the capability of putting up a block buffs debuff. Now, the reason I call this a 10x Hydra event is that I think the block buffs debuff is going to be a very crucial debuff to bring into the Hydra encounter, just because of all the utility of all the different heads. Now, I made a list of all the buffs that you may deal with during the encounter, and those are Poison Cloud, which is a new buff, Ally Protect, Reflect Damage, you have a head that can steal buffs and also do a buff spread and increase attack. Now, when you look at those buffs, you probably don't think that's a big deal, but when you deal with 4 different heads, it's probably going to become overwhelming, and if you can prevent those buffs from happening, why not do so? Now, obviously, for this 10x event, I do think there is an MVP, and I think they're actually going to become the new quote-unquote man-eater of the Hydra boss. Just like how everyone want a man-eater for the regular clan boss, everyone's going to want Tuhanarak for the Hydra boss. And we're going to go and go through her kit so I can kind of explain myself a little bit more. But I do want to mention that I know a lot of content creators have said that this is an easy pass and that it's definitely not worth pulling. I would definitely take a second look at all these champions, because I do think, like I said, this is going to be a very crucial debuff to bring, and you may not even need an AoE block buffs debuff. I do think a single target one will do just fine, and we'll kind of get into that with Tuhanarak in just a second. But yeah, if you have any of these champions vaulted, maybe look at trying to maybe level them during a training event coming up soon, because Hydra is right around the corner. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Tuhanarak so I can kind of explain myself a little bit more. So yeah, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so here is Tuhanarak, the legendary Void champion from the Barbarians. Now obviously she was a wanted champion before just because she was known as the better Doom Priest, but I do think that her kit is going to bring a lot of utility to the Hydra boss. So yeah, let's go through her kit so I can kind of explain more. So on the A1 we have Sun's Kiss. Attack one enemy has a 30 or 50% chance if you book it of placing a decreased speed debuff, which I do believe that you can place on all the Hydra heads. So I think this is going to be really cool, as you can possibly build a 2-to-1 ratio or even build your damage dealers a little bit slower, knowing that you can place this decreased speed. Now obviously you have the continuous heal, which is always a good thing to keep all your allies up, so a very solid A1 right off the bat. Now on the A2 we have Radiant Suffering. Attack one enemy has a 75 or 100% chance of, if you book it, of placing a big decrease attack debuff. Great for mitigating damage obviously. And then you have the block buffs, which I think is going to be crucial for blocking that ally protect, reflect damage, poison cloud, and all that type of stuff. But then we also have a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Now, I think this is actually going to be another crucial thing to bring into the Hydra boss, and that's just because the Hydra boss, I think, is meant to be a single target encounter, even though you're dealing with 4 different heads. The big reason I think this is just because you have things like Head of Wrath where you don't want to encounter it directly, because every time you hit it directly it gains a stack of Vengeance, and at 15 stacks it does a huge AoE damage ability. So by being able to spread things like the block buffs, the if you bring HP burn, if you bring poisons, you'll be able to do damage to that head without necessarily directly encountering it. So debuff spread I think is going to be another great thing to bring, but block buffs, like I said, is going to be very crucial. So once again, Tuhanarak's A2 is going to do ridiculous things I think on this fight, and by having a debuff spread effect, it allows you to just focus on one, and that way when you're working with your clan you can actually have people focusing certain heads throughout the encounter. Now on the A2 we have Desert Fitness, which is obviously a great ability. Increased defense, mitigating damage once again, and then increased speed, making up that difference between the A1. By placing a decreased speed, you're lowering their speed by 30% and increasing your speed by 30%. Now the passive once again is going to be ridiculous here. Like Doom Priest, will remove a random debuff from all allies, but this is at the start of each turn, not at the start of your champion's turn. So when looking at debuffs, you have to look at things such as, clicked out of it. You have debuffs such as Fear, True Fear, Poison, Weaken, Provoke, Pain Link, Decrease Attack, and Heal Reduction that this can actually remove. So having a cleanser such as Tuhanarak, even Doom Priest is going to be, I think, a very viable champion for the Hydra boss, is going to become very key. And then the fact that she can remove 2 random debuffs from allies under continuous heal, which she will place with her A1, or you can combine that with another champion placing continuous heals. This is going to be a go-to type thing. So I definitely think this is going to be a champion to go for. Unfortunately, obviously, we've had a lot of summon events and stuff like that, so people are probably running low on shards. But I do want to, kind of say that I do think block buffs is going to be a very key thing, and I think that they're doing this specific 10 times near the Hydra encounter release because of that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on what you think about this 10 times, what you are excited about with the Hydra boss. Do you think I'm wrong about this whole thing? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Check out my socials if you want to down in the description, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.